Alright, I'm going to show you how to set up your paper for your 1-point perspective interior. So your paper is 12 inches by 12 inches, so we want to find the center of the paper. So to do that, we're going to measure the width, whoops, and half of 12 inches is 6 inches, so I'm just going to mark here at the top where 6 inches is, and I'm also going to mark here at the bottom where 6 inches is. That way I can draw a straight line down the center. I'm going to draw that line really lightly so that I can erase it later. Then I'm going to mark the length of my paper, 6 inches, since it's also 12, and I'm going to do 6 inches over here so that I can mark a straight line all the way across. And I've found my center. So I'm going to make the center my vanishing point. So now I'm going to decide, if I'm looking inside of a room at a wall, where do I want my wall? I'm going to say from the center, I want to have about, let's say 3 inches on either side. So I'm going to mark where 3 inches is. Lighten this up so you can see. So where 3 inches is, and I'm going to just mark on either side, 1, 2, 3, so it should be 6 inches all around. I'm going to do the same thing this way. 1, 2, 3. And I can use this line to mark another line. You never really want to go off just one mark, otherwise you're kind of guessing. That way you can create a straight line. So I'm going to draw my line this way, and I'm going to draw my line this way. Again, I'm drawing really lightly, and I also wanted to mark my 3 inches, another mark here, so that I have another line to go off of. Okay, and now I've got my interior wall. You can use an eraser to erase any of those extra lines. I'm just using HB pencil or number 2 pencil to draw lightly. You don't want to use one of those softer pencils that will smear a bunch. And you don't want to use the harder pencils that will make indents on your paper. So, let's see. This line looks a little off, so I'm just going to fix it. And then erase any of those other lines. Okay, so I've got my interior wall. So I know this is my interior wall. I can go ahead and erase these lines here. So essentially this would be my horizon line. So anything that's eye level right there would be something we're looking directly at. Okay, so now I am going to draw my walls. Now my walls should all meet the vanishing point. So from one corner of my paper, I am going to draw this wall. Now I could draw all the way from the vanishing point, but I know that I just really want to start it from this edge. But I do want to make sure I'm not measuring from this corner, I'm measuring from the vanishing point. But it should go through that corner if we measured accurately. Doing the same thing here. measuring from my vanishing point to the corner. And last one. So I've got my interior wall, my ceiling, my interior walls, and floor. So now everything is going to lead to this vanishing point. Anything that you add. So for example, if I wanted to add a checkered floor, I could kind of measure where I want my checkered floor to be. Let's say I want it to end at every inch. I'm going to just mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure you can see 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now my checkered floor, I'm going to mark. Notice how all of these lines are going to meet my vanishing point. So I've got the beginning of my floor. Maybe I want my checkered floor to kind of get smaller in the background and bigger. So then I would just go in and I would kind of measure where I want it. So maybe I start with every kind of ½ inch, moving on to 3/4 of an inch, to maybe a full inch, and a full inch. And I would measure the same on this side, starting with ½ inch, moving on to 3/4 of an inch, to a full inch, and a but then you decide, I actually want this to be the ceiling. So maybe now this is my ceiling. Maybe I want to add a portal or something. So on this wall, I'm going to add a portal. I'm going to use guidelines for how big I want my portal to be. So within this guide, my portal is going to be this oval. Is it based on something else? Maybe I decide this is actually gonna stay my floor. I start adding my checkered pattern.